Welcome friends. Today's our topic of discussion is sonnet number 116 by William Shakespeare, the world famous English poet, one who could not be excelled by anyone else before and after him. He is the most famous poet and dramatist in the field of literature across the world, and in particular in English literature or say British literature. Today we are going to read his most famous sonnet number 116. William Shakespeare has written 154 sonnets, out of which today we are going to see sonnet number 116. The name of the sonnet is Let Me Not to the Marriage of True Minds. As all these sonnets were without title, just the number has been given by some of the critics with consensus, and the first line of the sonnet serves as the title of the sonnet. Whenever this number is not being used, this numbering is not being used, the first line serves as the title of the sonnet. Some of the sonnets from 154 sonnets have been written for fair youth, and some of them are written for dark lady. Dark lady is somebody in whose love Shakespeare was. This is what is being claimed by some of the Shakespearean critics. The truth cannot be, can say, fathomed out by anyone else with the, proper evidences and proofs. But still, it is believed that dark sonnets have been written by Shakespeare for his uh, unknown beloved, and the sonnets which are being called as uh, fair youth, those have been written for his patron, Earl of Southampton. Now let us see the sonnet number 116. Before turning to the analysis of the sonnet, let us hear the model reading of the sonnet for a minute or two. Just be attentive and pay your attention with the patience to the reading of the sonnet. Now hear the reading.
Sonnet 116 by William Shakespeare. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds. Over to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark, that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved.
Now let us see the introduction to sonnet number 116. In sonnet number 116, let me not to the marriage of true minds, Shakespeare speaker is ruminating on love. He says that love never changes, and if it does, it was not true love or real in the first place. And this is how Shakespeare in this sonnet tries to define true love, real love in a very simple words. If the love that changes with the course of a time, then it is not true love, it is not real love in the first place. This is what he says, and this is how he tries to define what is the real and true love and its nature. He compares love to a star that is always seen and never changing. It is real and permanent. and it is something on which a person can count. Even though the people in love may change as the time passes, their love will not. And this is how he believes that real love is something that never changes. And this is how we find that Shakespeare believes in the, can say, quality that real love has, that is permanence and the consistency and faithfulness, that he believes that these are the qualities of true and real love, which he tries to, somewhere investigate into this sonnet and tries to, can say, explain to the readers across the world. Even though the people in love may change as time passes, their love will not. And this is how he says that real love is not there to change with the change of a time, with the, can say, course of a time. The real love never changes. It remains constant. It remains same. It remains, with the same intensity. Its intensity never gets lessened. The speaker closes by saying that no man has ever truly loved before if he is wrong about this. And speaker closes this sonnet making it clear that if no man has ever loved before, if he is wrong about this means if somebody has loved and his love has changed with the alteration, with the, can say, changes which come down in the course of a time into his or her life, then it is not true love. This is what he tries to make it clear through this sonnet. Now let us see what is the historical background to this famous sonnet. Many critics believe that this sonnet has been written for a mysterious young man, and most probably these sonnets are written by Shakespeare for the Earl of Southampton, Henry Wriothesley. Many believe the mysterious young man for whom these and many other Shakespeare sonnets were written was the Earl of Southampton, Henry Wriothesley. Wriothesley was Shakespeare's patron. The bards Venus, Adonis, and Tarquin, and Lucrece, these were the poems dedicated to this young man named uh, Henry Wriothesley. And these sonnets are being particularly categorized as sonnets for fair youth. Earl of Southampton Henry Wriothesley is being called as, or say, being termed as um, the, fair youth. What are the themes of the sonnet number 116? As we know that William Shakespeare touches to multiple themes through his single poem or a single sonnet. Same is the case with this sonnet too. This sonnet also touches many themes. Multiple themes are being, can say, employed over here in this sonnet. Shakespeare used some of the most important themes in sonnet number 116, and these include time, love, and nature of relationships. So what is sonnet? Sonnet is a 14 line poems written over there by dividing into octave or sestes, or in quatrain and couplet. In the 14 lines of this sonnet, he dwells into what is true love, or whether or not it is real. And here in this sonnet, Shakespeare tries to unfold what is the nature of true and real love. This is the main purpose of William Shakespeare seems to be behind writing this sonnet. He uses metaphor to compare love to a star that is always present and never changes. So beautiful comparison that he has done over there, that the star that never changes its place. into the sky. Just like that sky that is not there to change its its place, its position. In the same way, true love is. This is what Shakespeare seems to believe, and very beautifully he has compared uh, true love with a star that never changes its place. He is so confident in this opinion that he asserts that no man has ever loved before if he is wrong. And he says that if somebody has not loved, the way can say the star is being found in the sky, which is one with, or say, faithful to the place that has been over there assigned by the can say Almighty God into the sky. In the same way, he believes that a lover should love constantly, permanently to somebody in whose love he or she is. Shakespeare also brings elements of time into poem. He also makes it clear that true love never changes with the time, with the change of a time, with the alteration which come down and settle into time, with the alterations, with the changes which come down and settle into the lives of lover and beloved. Whichever the changes may come down over there in the lives of lover and beloved, uh, due to some or the another reason, or due to the can say destiny or fortune, even after that their love never changes. This is what Shakespeare believes, that a real love is something that never changes its course for any of the reason that is between under the sky and above the earth. He emphasizes that time knows no boundaries. Even if people in relationship change, love doesn't. And this is how he believes that what is real love, how it can be defined. Here once again he tries to define that the time is limitless. Time is limitless, but the true love never changes with that limitless time, with can say alteration, if it can say comes over there into the life of somebody, that may be lover or beloved. And with the can say favorable or unfavorable changes, love never changes. That may be in case of lover or beloved, and particularly lover, one who can say loves his beloved, is not there to can say, or is not supposed to change his course of love just because some of the changes have come down with the time in the beauty of his beloved, or other can say conditions which are over there to surround their lives and their love. Structure of the poem, the as we have already seen that it is a Shakespearean sonnet, so it has a certain fixed structure, uh, that may be called as stanzaic structure, or say uh, poetic structure. This is a true Shakespearean sonnet, and also called alternatively as an Elizabethan or English sonnet. In this type of a sonnet contains 14 lines separated into three quatrains. Three quatrains means three stanzas of 4 lines. Quatrain means 4 lines, and ending with a rhyming couplet. Couplet means 2 lines. So this is how 4 lines says three stanzas, and last stanza, that is concluding couplet of 2 lines. This is how the 14 lines into which a Shakespearean sonnet is normally divided into. And the same is the case with sonnet number 116 written by Shakespeare. Uh, it is also divided into three quatrains and one ending couplet. The rhyming scheme of this sonnet is fixed one, that is A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. This is how uh, this kind of a rhyming scheme could be found in each and every sonnet written by Shakespeare. Means all he in all he has written 154 sonnets, and all of them follow this rhyme scheme, that is AB AB CD CD EF EF GG. Like most of the Shakespeare's works, this sonnet is written in iambic pentameter. Iambic pentameter means a kind of a poetic feat. Iamb is a poetic feat in which one trace syllable is being followed by one untraced syllable. So this is how traced is being followed by untraced. When this kind of a combination is over there, that is called as iambic poetic feat. And when this iambic poetic feat is concurrently repeated for 5 times, then it becomes iambic pentameter, which means each line consists of 10 syllables. Out of 10, 5 are traced and 5 are untraced. One traced syllable is followed by one untraced syllable. This is how the iambic feat is repeated for 5 times, and that is why it is being called as iambic pentameter. And it is the meter symmetrical, can say feat in which all these Shakespearean sonnets have been written. And same is the case with this sonnet too. Sonnet number 116 is also written in iambic pentameter. Now next, let us see what are the literary devices that Shakespeare has used into sonnet number 116. Shakespeare uses several literary devices into sonnet number 116, which include alliteration, example of caesure, and personification. The first alliteration is concerned with the repetition of words that begin with the same consonant sound. It is one of the figures of speech in which there is a repetition of the words which begin with the same consonant, and same consonant sound is being repeated. For example, in this sonnet, Shakespeare has used repetition of some of the words which start with the same consonant: marriage, minds in the first line, and remover and remove are in fourth line. So this is how these are the literary devices that Shakespeare uses over here, that is of alliteration or caesure and personification. Personification is also one of the important figures of speech in which inanimate things and abstract ideas are being endowed with human nature and human qualities. Now the next literary device, that is caesure. Caesure is used when the poet wants to create a pause in the middle of a line in order to intensify the, can say, effect of some of the lines, particularly emotive effect or psychological effect. Sometimes the poets deliberately use this device called as caesure, means to create a pause in middle of the line so that the uh, intensity of emotion is can be, heightened over there. The second line of the poem is good example of this literary device called as caesure that has been used by Shakespeare over here. It reads, admit impediments, love is not love. Here in this second line, Shakespeare uses in the middle of it, that is full stop, means a kind of a pause is being created over here by giving full stop only after two words. There is an example of caesure in the eighth line, that is the another example uh, of caesure used by Shakespeare into this sonnet. It reads, whose worth is unknown, although his height is taken. Here, the punctuation marks called as comma is used for to create a pause in the middle of a line. The pause poet uses might be marked with punctuation or instituted through the metrical pattern. This is how either punctuation marks are used to create caesure or metrical pattern is used. The next literary device and the third one, that is personification. It is being seen in the final state of the poem. There, Shakespeare personifies time and love, and something he does more than once in his 154 sonnets. So here, time and love, these are the abstract concepts, and these abstract concepts have been personified. They are being presented as if they are human beings, or they, can say, endow some of the qualities as the human beings, can say, possess over there. Uh, Now let us see that how that personification has been used in the poem, that is sonnet 160 16 by Shakespeare. Here, if we are there to see that how time and love are, can say, endowed with some of the human qualities, or abstract, can say, ideas like love and time are being given some of the human attributes. Here, we would be able to, can say, trace out that as and how he has uh, personified these ideas. Uh, Here, we would be able to see that love is not times full, those rosy leaves and cheeks. Here, the, can say, quality of becoming full or making full, it is a human quality that has been endowed to abstract concept called as love. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks. Here also love has been personified, and as if love is having with, can say, life as human beings are endowed with by nature or God. In the same way, here it seems that love has been given or endowed with some of the human qualities, and in the same way, we find that time has been personified over here by Shakespeare, and we would be able to trace out that how he has personified time when we read the, can say, first stanza of the poem. Let me not to the marriage of true love, true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds. Here, alter and alteration, can say, show that it is time that has been talked about, and the concept of time has been, can say, somewhere uh, personified through the, can say, qualities which are basically human qualities. uh, Here also time's full, this, in this, can say, phrase, the abstract concept called as time has been personified, and time's full, though rosy leaves and cheeks within his bending sickle. So sickle is a kind of a instrument that is being used by human beings in order to cut the grass or cut, can say, crops. Here, the time's bending sickle, that, can say, phrase is used, which shows that as if time is just like a human beings, and it also uses sickle as the human beings use sickle in order to cut something into certain parts. This is how Shakespeare personifies the abstract concepts like time and love in his sonnet number 116. Now let us see the analysis of the uh, sonnet. The first line is very much eye-catching. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. The line itself is mm, a philosophy into its own. It, you can say, somewhere makes all the readers to understand what is the philosophy of true love, and he makes it clear that true love is not something that changes with the alteration. It is not there to admit any of the impediment, any of the obstacle. What is true love? That never, admits that obstacles. It always, can say, uh, is ready over there to tackle the obstacles. And this is how he is trying to make it clear that what is true love? True love is as if it is a marriage of true minds. That is true love. Here he makes it clear that just, can say, the physical union is not sign of a true love, but the uh, mental, can say, union of, can say, two true minds is a sign of a true love. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. And he says that let me clear it. What is the real love? Real love is just like a marriage of true minds, which never admits any of the impediment in case of love and love making. These lines are perhaps the most famous in the history of poetry, regardless of whether or not one recognizes them belonging to Shakespeare. These lines are very much famous across the, can say, word reader. In a very simple and straightforward way, Shakespeare, can say, uses the metaphor of, to say, true minds, or say marriage of true minds, uh, to clear the nature of true love. Straight away, Shakespeare uses the metaphor of marriage to compare it to true and real love. And this is how there is a comparison of the marriage with the true and real love. He is saying that there is no reason why two people who truly love should not be together. Nothing should stand in their way. This is how he believes that true love is something that is devoid of every other obstacle that is, can say, being found over there in this world. Perhaps he is speaking about his feelings for the unknown young man for whom the sonnet is written. Shakespeare was unhappily married to Anna Hathaway, and perhaps he was rationalizing his feelings for the young man by stating that there was no reason, even if one is already married, that two people are truly in love should not be together. This is how he tries to make it clear that what is true love. Now the analysis of the, can say, subsequent language or subsequent lines are over here. The second half of the second line begins with a new thought, and this is the speciality of Shakespearean sonnets, that there is a sudden, can say, appearance of new thought into the middle of some of the initial lines, which which is then carried on to third and fourth line. Shakespeare writes in the second half of second line, Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds or bends with the remover to remove. Here he is trying to explain the nature of real love in a detail by giving examples of alterations and can say remover and remove. Shakespeare is continuing his thought that true love conquers all. In these lines, Shakespeare speakers tells the reader that if love changes, it is not truly loved, because if it changes or someone tries to remove it, nothing will change it. So here he tries to make it clear that real love is not there to change with the alteration which come and settle down in the lives of both or either of lover and beloved. And he also tries to analyze the real nature of real love, and he said that love does not stop just because something is altered, and this is how the alteration cannot can say stop the real love. This is how he tries to make it clear. The second quatrain of sonnet number 116 begins with some vivid and beautiful imageries. It continues with the final thought pondered in the first quatrain. Though, so this thought of can say what is the nature of a real love, that has been continued over there with more beautiful and vivid imagery in the second quatrain, means the lines which follow the first quatrain. Now Shakespeare has established what love is not: fleeting and ever changing. Here, before the can say second quatrain, Shakespeare has made it clear that love is not something that changes with the alteration, and something that changes with alteration is not love in the real sense. He can now tell us what is love. Now he says what is love. In the first half, he has said what is not love, what is not real and true love. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. And this is how he also brings it to the can say notice of the readers that even the terrible tempest can never shake real love. Yes, Shakespeare tells his readers that love does not shift, change, or move. It is constant and in the same place, and it can weather even the most harrowing of storms or tempest, and is never even shaken, let alone defeated. While weak, it can be argued here that Shakespeare decides to personify love, since it is something that is intangible and not something that can be defeated by something tangible such as Tom. And this is how he makes it clear that love is intangible, can say thing, means abstract idea that cannot be, can say touched, that cannot be, can say that can only be felt. And this is how he says that even the storm cannot change a real love. It can not have that kind of a even the storm cannot have that kind of a power into it. In the next line, Shakespeare uses metaphor of north star to discuss love. He writes, it is not the star to every wandering bark, means real love is not star to every wandering bark whose worth is unknown, and although his height be taken. To Shakespeare, real love is like a star that guides every bark, means every ship on the water, in the sea. While it is priceless, it can be measured. These two lines are interesting and worth noting that Shakespeare concedes that love's worth is not known, but he says that it can be measured. Here he makes it clear that love's worth is unknown to all, but paradoxically he says that even though love's worth is not known to anyone else in this world, but still its height can be measured. He neglects to tell his readers, but perhaps he is assuming that reader will understand the different ways that one can measure love through time and action. With that thought, the second quatrain ends, and now the third quatrain. Third quatrain parallels the first one, and Shakespeare returns to telling his readers what is not love. He writes, in the first quatrain, he writes what is not love. In the second quatrain, he writes what is love. And now, once again, there is a switch in the third quatrain. In the third quatrain, he once again makes it clear that what is not love. Love is not time's full, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle compass come. Here he makes it clear that what is the relationship between love and time. And he makes it clear that love is not time's, can say slave. It cannot, can say alter with the, can say orders, with the pressure that times, can say puts on love, that it can change. Notice the capitalization of the word time in this particular, can say line. Shakespeare is personifying time as a person, especially death. He says that love is not the fool of a time. Once rosy leaves and cheeks will certainly pale with the age. His bending sickle as his bending sickle's compass come. Shakespeare's diction is important here. Particularly, he uses the word sickle. Who is the person with whom the sickle is most greatly associated? That is death. There is no need to say that who that person could be, that Shakespeare is trying to personify through the can say concept like time. Through this can say personification of the time, he is personifying death. We are assured here that death will certainly come, but that will not stop love. He also making it clear that even love cannot be stopped by death. Death cannot can say stop love. Even death does not have that kind of a power that it could remove or it could stop can say love from the can say heart of a lover. It may kill the lover, but love itself is eternal. And he makes it clear that lover may die, beloved may die, but the love is eternal thing. It cannot be killed. Death, even death cannot can say destroy it. This thought is continued in lines 11 and 12 and the final two lines of third quatrain. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the age of doom. Here he is simply stating that love does not change over the time, and instead it continues even after the world has ended. Means here he can say makes it clear that even this world may come to its doom. It may end, but love is something that is endless. And this is how, just like time, love is also endless. This is what he is trying to make it clear through this can say uh, particular line. Shakespeare uses lines 13 and 14, means the final couplet of sonnet number 116, to assert how truly he believes that love is everlasting and conquer all. He writes, Shakespeare believes that love is everlasting and it can conquer all the impediments, all the obstacles which may come down and settle over there. And he writes, if this be error upon me proved, I never read, nor no man ever loved. And he says that if whatever that I have talked about of what is love and what is not love, if it proves to be, uh, can say my error, it proves to be, can say uh, false, then he says that I will never write a poem again, and no man ever might have loved in the past then. In this part of the sonnet, Shakespeare is telling his readers that if someone proves that he is wrong about love, whatever the nature of love that he has tried to explain through this sonnet, then he says that never he would never write a sonnet. He would never write, can say poem. And he said that if he is being, can say proved wrong, then it means that no man ever has loved truly. He's conveying here that if his words were untrue, nothing else would exist. The words he just wrote would have never been written. No man would have ever loved them before. He's an adamant about this, and his tough words are what strengthens the sonnet itself. The speaker and the poet himself are convinced that love is real, true, and everlasting. And this is how, dear friends, Shakespeare tries to, define the nature of true love. He tries to define what is love and what is not love, what is true love and what is not true love. And he also makes it clear that love cannot be, can say defeated. It can never change, even though there might come any calamity, any obstacle, any impediments in his path. Thanks for watching, friends. Thank you very much.